This video is gonna be about one of the most polluting, shamefully impactful industries in the world. Were you thinking about the petroleum industry? Well, you were wrong, because I'm talking about the fashion industry, and after the theme song I'm gonna explain you why. Hey everyone guys! Matteo Magnani here, and welcome back to Sustainablog. This is the second season of Sustainablog. Well, I moved from Norway to Milan, Italy. That's why you haven't been hearing me for so long. As you might see, I brought some Norway here with me. Something here, I've got something here. Also have got something that I want to show you here. Alright. I hope that this Norwegian surrounding makes you feel home as I do here in Milan. So let's go to today's topic, that is the fashion industry. Some people don't know the process that is behind how this shirt, for instance, or this t-shirt are made. The process is split into four main steps. First, the cotton of this thing has to grow, so you need land, you need water, you need insecticides for that cotton to grow up. Secondly, the material has to be turned into some yarn that needs electricity in some manufacturing plants, a high amount of electricity. Third, after you sew the cotton, then you need to dye the cotton to obtain these kind of colors. Well, these colors are made with chemicals that are highly toxic for the water, because then they are put into the wastewater that ends up in the sea. Last but not least, the product has to be packed into plastic packaging and then shipped around the world, which has not only a plastic waste impact, but also a high impact in terms of CO2 emissions. I'm gonna recap you one more time the main elements that contribute to make this t-shirt and this shirt available to me. Chemicals, water, CO2 emissions. Whilst this thing might seem obvious to you, but I assure you that it's not, because not everybody who's wearing a shirt is aware of this. Well, think about all the t-shirts and the t-shirts your friend buys every year, and think about all the t-shirts and shirts that H&M, Zara, and all the places that are there in the city center sell every day to the people. That's a huge impact in terms of water, chemical, and CO2 emissions. But the very worst thing about this is that we don't only buy the t-shirts and the shirts that we need, because the companies push shirts and t-shirts and other kind of garments out every day. Fast fashion is based on the introduction every day with the fastest frequency as possible new garments in order for people to buy them even if they don't really need them. All of these things lead the fashion industry to be regarded by many people as the second most polluting industry in the world, after only the petroleum, oil and gas industry. Well, I read also some articles that challenge this thing. It might not be the second industry, it may be the fourth, the fifth or the sixth, which is still a high ranking here. It's very polluting. And as I usually do in my videos, I will conclude with a part where I suggest some solutions to this problem, which are, in my opinion, three. First, have you ever heard about circular economy? Well, if you make the process that I just said at the beginning of the video of manufacturing, from cotton to yarn to chemicals to color it to packaging to waste to CO2 emission, if you make all this thing more circular means that you don't put your used clothes into waste, you don't put your packaging into waste, but you take all these things, your used clothes and your used packaging, you recycle it and you make it go back at the beginning of the loop in order for new raw materials not to be needed. Second, there are companies out there, like for instance Bread or EcoAlf, that currently do these things. For instance, Bread takes the graphite that is discarded from the manufacturing industry to color the clothes, so you don't need chemicals anymore because you use what is wasted by another completely different industry, which is very good because we don't have chemicals as the main three elements I mentioned at the beginning anymore. Instead, what does EcoAlf do? They collect plastic from the ocean and they do their best to use that plastic to build shoes and to build garments in order not to need raw materials anymore. Third thing I would suggest to cope with this huge problem is something that we can do ourselves. Because if every day consumers like me and you and all your friends start to have a different demand for clothes, then the big companies will also change their mindset, because if we will not be willing anymore to buy those products that are made in China, made very far away from where we live, as well as products that are made with a lot of willingness to be changed before there is really a need to change them, then companies will have nothing to do but change their business model. So consumers are important. You can do something, I can do something. But the point doesn't end here, because if you have any other idea to cope with this problem, write it down in the comments. Hit me up in my profiles that are on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and let's talk about it. Talking about it is the best thing we can do if we feel that this problem of environmental pollution and social sustainability is a real issue to our planet. So hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I really hope to see you again in the next video, and thanks for being here as a witness of the first episode of the new season of Sustainable. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye bye, take care, and be sustainable.